Welcome to social studies class. Like I said last time, we are finished with science for the year, and so we will be going back to social studies for the rest of the year. So in social studies, we're going to be learning about children of the world. Now, our world is big and it's round, right? I don't have a globe with me, but you guys remember the globe, right? The big, well, the round ball that showed the earth, right? Because the earth is not flat, even though it looks flat to us. Now, if you imagine that you were a teeny tiny bug on a big beach ball, to that little tiny bug, the beach ball would seem flat because it couldn't see the whole ball. So that's how it is for us. Since we are so tiny on this big earth, the earth looks flat to us because we can't see that the earth is big and round. But we know that it is round and it's not flat. Now, God made the world with its oceans and continents. Now, I'm going to zoom up here. I can't hold the map because it is two different pieces of paper. So let's see if we can see this map here. So if you remember all of this light blue stuff, what are those? What is that? Is that the land or is that the ocean? That's the ocean, right? And then all of the colored parts, the gray and the different colors, that is the land or the continents. Now, on each of these continents, then there's countries, smaller countries. So our continent, our big piece of land, do you remember what it's called? What continent we live on? The big piece of land we live on? North America. And what's the name of our country? Remember, the country is a smaller part that's on the continent. Remember, our country is the United States of America. Okay? So the United States is just one country that's on this continent. See, there's Canada, that's another country, and there's Mexico, that's another country. Okay? So each continent has more than just one country on it. You can kind of think of it like when we were at school, we were in our school, right? We were at Pioneer Christian Academy. That's kind of like the continent, okay? It's big. Our school was big. But then most of our time we spent in our classroom. That's kind of like the United States of America, right? United States is smaller, but it's part of our big continent of North America. All right, now let's talk a little bit about, well, okay, so this is a map, right? This is a flat map. So I wish I had a globe here, but I don't. But remember our globe? It was round like a ball. Now, if we would take that globe and stretch it out flat, then this is kind of what it would look like. So that's why we show maps. Okay, a map is like the earth stretched out flat. Now, did you know that there are that means more than 190 countries on earth in our world. That means almost 200 countries. And there are children that live in each one of them. And most of these children, they look and they dress and they live just like you. But not all of them, but a lot of them live just like you do. Now, we are going to go on some imaginary visits. We're going to use our imaginations and visit either a boy or a girl in some different countries using our imaginations. All right? And oops, I'm not quite done here. Let me show you the different countries that we're going to visit in our imagination, okay? We are going, well, I don't know if we're going to have time to visit all of these, but I'm hoping to. there's North America. That's where we live. There's Canada. We're going to visit someone from Canada, someone from Mexico, someone from the Bahamas. These are teeny tiny little islands you can barely see. Someone from Peru, that's in South America. Someone from Kenya, that's on the continent, Africa. Someone from England, that's part of Europe, and the Netherlands, and Italy. Those are all part of Europe. And Israel, we'll visit someone from there, and China, and Japan, and Australia. So we'll see. I don't know if we'll quite get all of those visited. But before we continue, let's talk about our different oceans. So this ocean here is called the Atlantic Ocean. Can you say that with me 3 times? Atlantic Ocean, Atlantic Ocean, Atlantic Ocean. And you see here that the Atlantic Ocean touches our country. Our country, the United States of America. Okay? And then over here and over here, because remember, this should actually be in a ball, and so these would be touching each other. And these are called the Pacific Ocean. Can you say that with me? Pacific Ocean, Pacific Ocean, Pacific Ocean. All right, then I want you to just repeat after me one time. We're going to say the continents, okay? So we have North America, say it. And we have South America, say it. Africa, say it. Australia. Did you say it? And Europe, say Europe. And Asia, say it. And it doesn't show hardly at all, but Antarctica peeks down way at the bottom. Say Antarctica. There we go. All right. We had better keep on moving. Let's get our stand back there. All right. Now, let's just remember a little bit here that when we have a map, on a map, which direction, remember we have north, south, east, and west, which direction is always up on a map? Do you remember? North. And which direction is always down on a map? South. And which direction is always to the left on a map? West. And which direction is always east on a map? Always right. I just said it. It's east. So say it with me. We have north, south, let's do east, and west. Why don't you get your fingers and point with me, okay? North, south, east, west. All right, good job. Good job. All right, so, we talked about how there are so many countries and how there are children that live in each of these countries, and Jesus loves each and every one of them. He loves all the children and all the people, no matter where they live, what color their hair is, what color their eyes are, what color their skin is, no matter anything. Jesus loves all of the children all over the world. And so we're going to learn about some children from different parts of the world. Let's see, there we go. All right, so let's get started. Today, we are going to, in our imaginations, visit the Bahamas. Remember those tiny islands that I showed you? Yeah? So I'll just move this a little bit. If we're at the United States and we travel east, we get to these little tiny islands, and they're called the Bahamas. All right? And so we are going to, in our imaginations, visit a girl named Alani. And she lives in the Bahamas, and those are a group of islands that are close to the United States, but they're not part of our country. Okay? So here's a picture. Now, I know Addison just went to Florida not too long ago. This right here is Florida. So she wasn't too far away from the Bahamas. These are the Bahamas. Do you remember what islands are? I said that the Bahamas are a bunch of islands. Islands are pieces of land that have water all the way around them. Okay? Can you drive to an island? No, not usually, unless someone built a bridge, right? Okay? Can't drive there because it's surrounded by water. Now, do you remember when we learned about Christopher Columbus and he had 3 boats and he discovered the New World, America? Well, as he was sailing in the ocean, he actually landed on the island of San Salvador. And San Salvador is actually part of the Bahamas. So he landed on the Bahamas. People in the Bahamas are called, well, let's see. We live in the United States of America, and we are called Americans. People that live in the Bahamas are called Bahamians. Does that sound funny? Now, Alani, remember this little girl in our imagination, she lives in the Bahamas in the capital city. That's like the most important city in the Bahamas, called Nassau. Nassau. And she speaks English just like we do. So if you when we visit her in our minds, you can speak English to her because she can understand you. But something interesting about the Bahamas is that when they drive, we always drive, when you're driving down the road, we always drive on the right side of the road. But in the Bahamas, they drive on the left side of the road. So it would look a little bit strange to us. Now, lots of people enjoy going to the Bahamas on vacation because they like to visit the white sandy beaches. If you see here, doesn't that look like a nice place to vacation with the palm trees? It kind of looks like Florida, doesn't it? And they have nice blue water. This is a picture of the Bahamas from up in the sky. You can see some of the different islands. And there's nice coconut and banana trees that can give you shade there. And all year long, it's nice and warm. Now, are you ready to use your imaginations? So we just got off the airplane and Alani greeted us. And, oh, I want to show you the next one. All right, so here you can see a few of the things. So Alani wants to take us scuba diving right away in the beautiful blue water. So scuba diving or snorkeling, right? That's scuba diving is actually when you have the air, packs of air on your back so you can go way down in the water. And you have flippers on and goggles so that you can see. And so we're gonna pretend we're gonna go scuba diving with her.